Hello Internet, it is I, Broadmoor, returning here once again to draw a Psychic Orc War Chiefess. As you will soon notice, I started off with the head and the body, but I kept erasing it and going back over and over again because this took so long to get right, as this is a position and a pose I've never drawn before. After finally getting the body into a position I liked, I started drawing the chest as well as the waist and hips so that everything was well outlined, and quickly moving on to the legs from there. After finishing up the basic design of the legs, I started to move on to the clothes, which, as you'll notice, I didn't add any arms. And that's because I'm very lazy and I didn't want to have to draw them, and I figured, what better way to make an Orc War Chiefess psychic and give a good excuse for it than they don't have any arms. Here, I felt like the leg wasn't aligning well with anything, so I erased it and quickly redrew it and made everything look a little bit smoother to make sure that it was well aligned, as well as shortened it a little bit so that it looked a bit more natural. Here I enter into what, in my opinion, the most frustrating part, which was the face. Is making sure every little bit of the details are correct. I messed up making the mouth, and so I had to erase it, and I screwed up there and erased the entire head by accident. So I had to redo that. I kept having to redo it over and over once again, but eventually I got it to where it looked decent, and I was happy with it. Once I finally got the head into the position that I really enjoyed, I went on to the hair as well as some other smaller details all around, making sure everything was a bit bigger in some positions, tightened up things, just a bunch of little small details before I started outlining everything. Here, I wanted to have boots instead of shoes, as well as wanted to make sure that the pant legs seemed a bit loose, so I have them flying back just a little bit. An orc without their teeth looks like a normal person, so I decided to start adding those. But after messing it up, I had to redo it, which took a little bit, not too long this time, so it wasn't nearly as frustrating as before. But I made it look too smiley, sometimes I made it look too disappointed, and I really was trying to get that nice, angry feel, which I think I finally got something that looks somewhat decent. After adding some various wrinkles and folds, I added the right foot just a little bit more to make it a bit bigger, as well as make sure it was well aligned with everything else. After getting that finished, I started darkening all the lines and making sure that the hair was fully colored in. I think you can hazard a guess of what's going to happen right now. I'm going to once again screw up on the mouth, so I'm going to have to redo it all over again. But it's fine. I'm fine. Everything's okay. Why? Because I got it into a better position in the end. After getting that finished, I started moving on with all of my shading. I get some final small details like a couple of flying needles, as well as putting 2 of them in their hair, as well as making sure that the eyebrows are sufficiently angry looking. After completing all the smaller details, I went back to the shading, making sure everything was just a little bit darker at a time. Blending all the shadows together, I am finished. And with that, I really appreciate your time and watching all the way through to the end. And I hope you can go out, be creative, and be gone.